was a hit. Even that's a hit back then.
Blockbuster back then.
For a black movie?
Yeah, for real.
That's major.
For real.
That's major. How did you feel about watching this when it first came out compared to recently watching it?
Wow, that's a great question, man. Back in the day when I first watched it, to be honest, I just liked the premise of the movie. Just looked like a player doing his thing. You know what I mean? He didn't really. I was 92. I think about 92. I was 15, maybe. You know what I mean? So it was a different time in your life. So just looking at what's going on as far as the movie and the player having a good time doing what he do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just a fun movie. You know what I mean? Eddie Murphy was the man.
He was.
You know what I mean? Especially in 92. You know what I mean?
Coming off all that Beverly Hills Cop stuff.
Right. Beverly Hills Cop. Then you got Halle Berry.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Robin Givens. A young Martin Lawrence.
Yes.
You know what I mean? David Allen Greer. All these players that we grew up watching. You know what I mean? Back then, they were in a heyday. You know what I mean? So it was just a great movie to watch. You know what I mean? It was just awesome cast, funny. You know what I mean? A lot of sexual energy. You know what I mean? Just fun. You know what I mean? Back then, it was just a great movie. Something that entertained us as a community and our culture. You know what I mean? And it was great, man. It was just a fun movie back then.
When I watched it back then, I was 92. I was 20.
Right.
So I was kind of moving and grooving, had my own apartment and stuff. So
yeah, you were more on that level.
I was more older, so I can I was kind of understanding what the movie was actually about and stuff like that.
Right.
But it was refreshing to see all those black faces.
Right.
And, see a movie where it was like, smart writing, you know, the screenplay was written right. And it just wasn't, we had a lot of ratchet shit back then.
Yeah, we did.
We had a lot of hood shit, a lot of ghetto shit, good stuff. Yeah, bro. You know, we had the Boys in the Hood, the Menace and all that stuff.
Great movies.
But it was more hood related.
Exactly.
And this was more executive related.
More sophisticated.
It was very sophisticated.
Right.
It wasn't, the black culture appreciated it, but I think they appreciate it more now.
Now they do because they're
now,
old. And they know what it's like now. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Back then, it was a little different because we haven't really seen anything like that.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? So it was kind of the whole thing was just like, damn, you see successful black people actually doing stuff without, like you said, there's no drug involvement, none of that. They're just just a regular society making money, living like they're supposed to and doing things like that and living life. You know what I mean?
Living life. Yeah. So let's get into it. So we got the opening scene where Marcus, he walks through the office like he does every morning.
Yeah.
It's hundreds of ladies.
Yes.
They on his heels. They own him. They on his head.
He's a player of all players, man, at the time. You know what I mean? It exudes off of him. As soon as he walks in the building, every female in the building takes, double take. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's something about a man like that for every female in the building to be on like that. Plus he's an executive, black man in this black facility with all these black women. You know, they're drawing the power as it is.
Yeah.
He's
but that opening, what I like about the opening scene, it kind of lets you know that he is him.
Yeah.
He walks in there.
Exactly.
I'm that dude.
Exactly.
Cause they literally not talking about nobody else in the office but him.
But him. So, well, he doing what he
that dude. Yeah, and he young and he handsome and he got the bread. He got the smarts to have a job like that.
All of it.
Like I like how they established that he's the man.
Right.
From the very beginning.
They let that be known from the gate.
They let it be known from the gate. All these beautiful black faces, but he's the man.
Right.
And then after that first opening scene, he goes to meet up with his buddies, Tyler and Gerard, which is Martin Lawrence and David Allen Greer. And they talking about women as they always do.
Right.
And Martin is saying one-liners and David Allen Greer is saying one-liners, but they're more cracking jokes on David Allen Greer's character because he's more, I guess, like
kind of squarish. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's a little square, a little bit. You know what I mean? But you always have one of them in the group.
You always got one of them.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But Martin came out straight, was like, "You don't get no pussy."
You're right. And it rubbed his ass the completely wrong way after that.
He didn't like that. He didn't like that at all. He was like, "Man, y'all ain't got to get on me like that. I like taking it slow." Right. That's what he said.
Man. You do what you do. But you around a couple of players right here, and then, they like to get active quickly.
Yeah, they like to get active quickly. So while they're talking, the beautiful, super sexy Layla Rashawn walks by. Marcus sees her through the window with her dog. Yeah, and then you get the roof.
Right.
And her character's name is Christy.
Right.
So he goes outside, buys a leash from a couple to act like that's savage, bro.
He's a wild boy.
That's
He's a wild boy.
He said $20 for the leash, and the dude look at her like, "Fool, you better get
that money."
So he walks around yelling out Rufus or whatever the dog name is.
Right.
And so she hears him. She stops. She's kind of gullible. You could tell.
Super gullible.
She's kind of gullible. And matter of fact, what I noticed is like the character that she plays in this, she was kind of dingy like that in Harlem Nights.
Yeah.
Which is another Eddie Murphy movie.
Yeah, you're right.
And I feel like he told her to be the same person.